Wrongfully caught in the underworld. This is a true story that happened in a small southern village. The main character of this story is named Daniel. Like most young men in this village, he lived leisurely every day, idling around and refusing to work or have any career. Even after getting married, Daniel still couldn't get better. He still had all kinds of bad habits. All day out on the street, chatting with other young people like him. "Hey, nearby have some interesting places, let's go out." "Okay, when have I ever turned you down?" Every time, Daniel plays till he forgot the way back. One day, after dinner, Daniel and some young people gathered to play cards. "I lost to you guys last time. I have to take it back today, haha. Let's see how your luck is." That day, the group of idle men gathered to play cards. The most fun thing was that, except for Daniel, all the other lost. Today is considered a happy day for him. He won a sum of money, quite a lot of money just by playing cards. After playing for a while, Daniel looked at the clock and saw that it was almost past midnight. He then asked to go home. "It's late, I won't play anymore. I have told my wife we'll be back soon." Of course, this makes the other guys unhappy. "There is no way to win and bring money home so easily," the other friend said. "We're just losing." "What? Play a few more games so we can take it back a little. Daniel, you can't go home now." Daniel saw that the other players seemed to be tense, so he had to sit back and play again. "Then let's play 2 more games, it's quite late." But not knowing how many games have passed, they finally stopped. It was already 3 o'clock at night. Daniel thought of his wife at home and stood up. "It's late, I have to go home. We will play another day again. Or you can continue playing today and stay at my house for one night," the friend seduced. "Okay, I'll go home and sleep with my wife, play next day." After all, Daniel was aware that he was married and couldn't let his wife sleep at home alone, so he refuses the friends to the end. Because his house was in the neighboring village, and it was already very late at night. There were no street lights in the countryside at that time, so Daniel could only walk back under the bright moonlight. After walking for a while, Daniel felt very sleepy, so much so that he felt that if he took the main road, it would be too far, so he decided to turn onto the trail to take a shortcut home quickly. This road rarely has any people pass by. The side of the road is overgrown with weeds, and their height reaches an adult's chest. The night space is quiet. Sometimes, a breeze blows through, making people feel cold and uncomfortable. Daniel raised his hand to lift the weeds to walk in the dark. While walking, he regretted why he chose this difficult road. It's been a long time since anyone cut the grass. These grasses have grown so tall, it's tough to walk. The more he walked, the darker the road became. Although he regretted it, Daniel was already halfway there and didn't want to go back. Just like that, he groped in the night. It was dark, and he couldn't see anything, making the road he walked even more difficult. Suddenly, there was a rustling sound around. Daniel was so scared that he no longer felt sleepy. Even his body was full of cold sweat. All he can do now is head straight forward. Going a little further, he saw a light in the distance. But isn't this light appearing very strange? From afar it looks like the light of a flashlight. Daniel bravely shouted in the direction of the light, "Is anyone there?" But there was no answer. Daniel stopped and looked around. He didn't know where he was and couldn't remember which direction he came from and which direction to continue to go back home. Surrounded by darkness, when he no longer recognized any other way, Daniel can only follow in the direction of the light. He didn't know how long he had been walking until he saw a stele by the roadside. A stele with the name of the road. Looked closely at him, was surprised. On the stele it said, "Road to the Beyond." At this moment, Daniel heard a voice that seemed to be echoing from far away, so he increased his speed and chased. "Someone, is anyone there?" Not long after running, Daniel saw two people walking together in front of him. He called out, "Please wait for me." "Hello." Daniel went up to wave to those two. His purpose was to ask where this was and how to get home, but before he could answer, he was so scared that he couldn't say a word. Those two people, one of them stuck out his pupils, and the other had a horrifying face full of blood. Clearly, these two were not living people. They turned to Daniel with questioning eyes. Those two people did not pay attention to Daniel for long. They turned and walked forward. Daniel was so surprised and scared, he just stood there, neither daring to move forward nor back. In the end, Daniel gritted his teeth and chose to go where there was light. Not long after, he saw a large river, but the river water was as red as blood. Many people were standing by the river. When Daniel saw so many people, his heart relaxed. With so many people, he didn't need to be afraid of ghosts anymore. Daniel walked over to the group of people and said, "May I ask?" But he suddenly realized that something was wrong. He saw that the eyes of the people here were not normal. They looked at the river dimly like lost souls. Seeing this, Daniel did not dare to be around these strange people. He quietly walked to the edge of the crowd. Right at this moment, he happened to see a girl worth noting in front of the stele, so he walked over. That little girl has bright eyes and is different from other people, making Daniel feel a little secure and come to ask, "Hello miss, could you tell me where am I, please?" Hearing someone call her, the girl turned around, smiled and answered Daniel's question. "This is the Lethe River, the river of oblivion, the only way to the underworld." The answer made Daniel freeze. He forced a smile and said, "Miss, please stop joking around." Seeing that Daniel did not believe her words, the girl seemed unhappy. She turned her head and said, "Believe it or not, someone will escort us to the boat to cross the river soon." Seeing the girl seem angry, Daniel quickly apologized. "Sorry miss, but in fact, I just played cards at my friend's house. How could I die?" The girl didn't look back, obviously still angry, but she also answered his question. "There are many reasons for a person to die suddenly. You don't know that you are dead, is also a normal thing." After hearing the girl say that, Daniel's heart began to think. Just while playing cards, he drank some wine. Did he die from drunkenness? He was still awake on the road just now. Right at this moment, a boat glided from afar. The strange thing was that no one was rowing, but the boat still rushed straight to the shore as if someone manipulated it. The little girl just now stared intently at the oncoming boat. She walked towards the boat, didn't forget to turn back, and said to Daniel, "Let's go. The boat is coming." Daniel has almost accepted his ironic fate. He gets on the boat with the other souls. Am I really dead? The boat floated on the water again. Looking at the blood-red water under the boat, Daniel wanted to cry. 2 lines of tears flowed. He felt sorry for himself, resentful and bitter, thinking that he had not had time to speak. Saying goodbye to his family, his loved ones, his wife. The more he thought about it, the more he regretted why he didn't appreciate the time when he was alive. He always felt that he was young and had a lot of time left. He threw himself into drinking and playing cards, never paying attention, focus on doing business, taking care of his family. The boat just drifted slowly along with his belated regretful thoughts. Finally, he doesn't know how long it took. The boat also docked on the shore. There were 6 men wearing shirts with the names of each group of people: good people, bad people, going to heaven or hell. The group of dead souls is split right here. Each blue-faced man holds a list and calls out the names of the people on the boat in groups. In the end, everyone has their place, but Daniel has not been named yet. A blue-faced man walked up to Daniel. He turned the page of the list in his hand and asked, "What's your name?" Me? My name is Daniel. After looking for a while, I couldn't find Daniel's name. He checked the list of other blue-faced people to ensure that Daniel had not been missed, but there was no such name in all the lists. After a while, a blue-faced man came and said to Daniel, "Since you don't have a name, we can't just take you away. Wait here, I'll come back to you later." So the blue-faced man took their group out of there while Daniel could only stand there and wait as instructed. After a while, a big, muscular man with a fierce face walked up to him with a regal and majestic gait. This must be the real king of the underworld because his robe has the word, "Judge," written on it. King of the underworld walked to Daniel's place, directly explaining why Daniel's name was not on the list. "Daniel, a native of the South Village, you should have been a worker for 87 years. But because of you accidentally strayed into the yin and yang border, so this situation happened." As soon as Daniel heard the news, he knew he had just made a rare mistake but wasn't actually dead, so he had hoped, "Sir, so can I go back? Come back to Earth, come back to life, right?" But he was immediately discouraged by the following words of the king of the underworld. "Now that you are at the door of the underworld, you can't go away if you want to go back. I advise you to accept your fate. Enter this realm and then you can avoid the sufferings of samsara, birth, old age, sickness, and death are all over." Daniel knows his fate is not over, so he insists on coming back. "I'm not dead, I haven't done anything bad. I just made the mistake of getting lost in this place. Please let me know, can I get back?" Hearing what Daniel said, the king of the underworld frowned. At this moment, a boat was coming from afar, and the voice said, "Daniel, Daniel, where are you?" Daniel heard his name being called and quickly replied, "I'm here. I'm here." The king of the underworld was obviously familiar with this sound. He stood quietly on the shore and looked at Daniel as if he was jumping, waiting for the boat to dock. Not long after, the boat pulled up to the shore, and a bald old man stepped out. The king of hell looked at the old man and smiled. "What? How's your health these days?" "Thank you, sir, I'm fine." It was old William. He glanced at Daniel next to him. Knowing that this was the person he was looking for, his facial muscles relaxed a little. When the king of the underworld saw this, he asked, "Old William, have you come to find someone again?" "Sir, this matter is not entrusted to me by anyone, but because Daniel's life on earth is not over yet, I would like to ask permission to bring him back." King of the underworld did not respond to old William's words, but turned to Daniel. "Are you sure you want to go back? Are you sure you want to go back to your human life and experience the suffering of samsara, old age, sickness, death?" "Thank you, sir, I still want to come back." Daniel replied firmly. King of Hell saw that Daniel did not want to stay, and an old acquaintance came to pick him up, so his attitude was no longer uncompromising. Okay, if he wants to bring Daniel back, he has to make him forget about this, must make sure that he will not reveal this to the public, lest he carries a felony. Before the old man answered, Daniel showed his determination that he would not reveal this to anyone. "Don't worry, I live on my heart, and this story will be heard by no one. This secret will go with me to my grave." The blue-faced man led Daniel to the boat and steered in the same direction as when he arrived. The king of the underworld did not forget to remind him from the shore. "Remember not to mention this to anyone, or you will be banished to 18 levels of hell, forever unable to be reborn." Just as Daniel was about to respond, he was suddenly pushed into the river. "My dear, please wake up." A series of sounds called Daniel to wake up. He opened his eyes and saw that his wife was calling. The wife cried again. "You finally woke up, I'm so scared." Daniel is now aware of what just happened. He soberly looks at his wife and the lovely surroundings, cried excitedly. "Here I am, please forgive me, I am a terrible husband." At this time, Daniel discovered that old man William was standing next to him. It turned out that his wife had invited the old man to come. The old man was a famous fortune teller in the area. "Thank you for bringing me back to life." At this moment, only Daniel and old William were the ones who best understood what had just happened. Old man William smiled and walked away. Daniel promised himself that from now on, he would change and become a worthy man, husband, and breadwinner. Since then, people have never seen Daniel playing cards or idling around. He never came home late. After that, Daniel went to the city to find a job and settled down for a few years. After saving some capital, he returned to his hometown to start a business with his wife. At first, it was just a tiny stall, but then the business of Daniel and his wife grew more and more. He not only changed his life, but also did good deeds to help many others.